Guys, in this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to quickly get approved for the NACA home buying program, okay? So I did a video talking about my process and how I got quickly approved. And in that video, I said I would give some tips. So here they are. So first of all, depending on where you are in the program, I don't know if you are in the process of trying to get approved or if you have not even taken a home buying workshop yet. You haven't even started yet. Wherever you are, I do recommend you to start saving now, okay? Get into the habit of saving now, okay? Determine what type of payment you want every single month, and I want you to start saving that now, okay? So let's just say you want your mortgage payments to be $1,800 a month, or maybe you want it to be $2,000 a month, whatever it is, $2,500, whatever you want that payment to be every month, $1,500. I want you to start saving that now, because you want them to they're going to want to see you paying that or saving that. Okay. So if you are paying that in rent right now, that is even better, because now they're able to see that you can at least afford that. If you pay less than what you want to pay in mortgage, so for an example, let's just say you want your mortgage payment to be $2,000, but right now you're paying $1,500 every month. Start saving that extra $500 every single month, okay? When you get into the process, they're going to want to see you save that for a certain amount of time. If they can already see it, perfect. That's one of the reasons why I was able to get approved so quickly, is because they saw that I was already saving the amount that the amount that I wanted to pay. They saw that I was already saving that every month. So that's going to help you tremendously. Start now. And just to kind of give a little bit more to that as far as saving. Let's just say you're in a place where you're like, I don't have anything extra to save. You are going to have to look at a couple of different things. You're going to have to look at whether you need to cut some of your expenses. This is where budgeting comes into play. I have videos on that channel talking about budgeting. You're going to have to determine whether you have to cut some expenses or whether you're going to have to add to your income. Okay, so either way, create a budget. You simply write down everything you pay. You're gonna have to do that with NACA anyway when you're in the process. Write down every single thing you pay every month. Subtract that from your take-home pay. Okay, if you are in the negative, meaning you have nothing left, you got to determine what can you cut. If you have literally cut everything possible and you still don't have enough to save, now you're going to have to look into ways to add extra income. And I'll do a separate video on some easy ways to add extra income, okay? So definitely you want to start saving, okay? It's called a payment shock. You want to start saving your payment shock now. Another thing you want to do is keep all of your documents in one place, okay? So one of the things that you're going to have to do with NACA is upload your pay stub every time you get paid. So if you're not in the process yet to where you have the portal, you haven't got a NACA ID yet, you haven't done the workshop yet, just start saving those to a drive, okay? Your Google Doc, that's like the perfect thing. If you have a Gmail, you have a Google Drive, okay? So save that to your Google Drive. If you're already in the process, you're already uploading that stuff, but keep it handy somewhere so you can easily get to it. So I haven't had to resubmit any documents yet. However, I have seen a lot of people say that they have to resubmit documents, and because of that, I've started keeping my documents uploaded on my Google Drive. Every time I upload something to the portal, I add it to my Google Drive just in case. And I have it named on there on my Google Drive, NACA documents, just in case they come back and say, listen, we need this again. Because I've done the research and I've watched the videos on the process that people have gone through, I'm already prepared to have to resubmit. So keep all of your documents in one place. Even when you upload it to the portal, keep it handy. Another thing you want to do is join the NACA Facebook groups. Now they have the official NACA Facebook group, and then they have like other groups that are maybe specific to your city. So you want to join those groups so that way you can ask questions. You can even, before you ask a question, you may want to just join and search for the question you have, and somebody has probably already answered that. So you can get in there, get your questions answered, because you may not necessarily, get a counselor right away, or maybe they're not always available. You can get just your questions answered in real time in there. And then you can also, just get extra advice that you didn't even know you need. Because I've joined the group and I'm like, oh, I didn't even consider that, so definitely join the Facebook group. And I already did mention having your documents ready, but you want to also like just upload them ahead of time before you meet with your counselor. So if you're in a process where you're about to meet with the counselor, you haven't met with them yet, upload as much as you can. Have everything as much as you can completed until you meet with your counselor. So that's one of the things I did. That's what helped me in my process. When I met with my counselor, he didn't have to tell me to upload anything. I had everything uploaded. I went through, there's a checklist on the portal, and you'll see it if you're already in there. But I uploaded everything. The only thing I didn't do was the things that I couldn't do that I didn't understand, like the transaction types. I needed him to explain that to me. But everything else I had uploaded. So do that. So start saving. Keep your documents all in one place. Upload them ahead of time, right? Join the Facebook groups. Also, you can even start looking into the area where you want to move to and start getting an idea of the home that you want and the price range. Okay, so that way you can know if what you want to pay is realistic. For an example, if your payment that you are wanting to pay will get you a $300,000 house, but you can't find that in your area, you may want to start looking into other areas, right? Or if you've realized, okay, this might be too much, you may want to start looking into, homes that are a little bit less in your area. And again, you may have to go over to a different area, right? Be realistic about your payment that you can afford. NACA is going to be pretty good with that anyway to make sure you can afford it. But you want to also be realistic about it too. In addition to saving your payment shock, you want to be starting to build or add to, because you should already have this. You want to start adding to your emergency fund. Have those funds as well. A lot of people think with NACA you don't have to have any money saved. You need to have reserves. You're going to have money saved. So you want to start building that as well. You need a cushion. You need an emergency fund anyway, right? Whether you're trying to buy a home right now or not. This is something that you need. I'll talk about that in other videos as well. But you want to definitely have your emergency fund, and you want to add to that as well. Make sure you have 30 to 60 days, maybe even 90 days of pay stubs available. Okay, have your last 2 years, and these are things that you're going to end up adding to your Google Drive is what I mentioned, and just in case you may need to provide this information later. But you want to have at least 30 to 60 days, maybe even 90 days of your pay stubs. Have your last 2 tax returns, make sure you sign them. Okay, have your W-2s for the last 2 years, your business income, any 1099s that you may have, your Schedule C or whatever, anything you have, you want to also have all of that available as well. You're going to have to upload some of that stuff to your portal, and then you're going to also want to have that on your Google Drive in case you need to provide it. Also, when it comes to student loans, so if you happen to be on an income-driven plan, make sure you provide documentation of that. Provide documentation of how much you pay. If it's in deferment or forbearance, make sure you provide that information. The way they calculate it is going to be a little bit different. Just anything relating to your student loans, have that ready as well. Also, if you happen to be a housing choice voucher holder, if you happen to be on Section 8, make sure you have a copy of that as well, because they do consider that when they go into calculating your income, they are going to take that into consideration as well. So make sure you get a copy of that if you happen to be a voucher holder. Now, I'm pretty sure there's so many other tips. I maybe even do a part 2, because as I mentioned in the last video, I'm still in the journey. I recently became qualified, and I have not started. I have kind of put on hold my my buying, if that makes sense, because I'm trying to get my auto loan down to 10 months of payments or less, okay? Because I don't want it to calculate into my DTI. I want to get a little bit more, okay? The payment that they had me at right now is considering my auto payment, and I want that gone. And the good thing about NACA is that if you have 10 payments or less left, they will not consider your auto loan. So that's another tip too. Get your auto loan, get that down as low as possible. Also, make sure you're paying. Make sure you're on time on everything. I don't know how I forgot that as a tip. Make sure you are staying up to date with all of your payments, okay? So if you have any credit card bills, if you have any auto loans, any loans, student loans, personal loans, anything you're paying on, do not be late, okay? In this process, you want to be trying to be as ready as possible before you even start the process. So make sure you're also paying your bills on time and trying to actually fix up your credit if you can. Although they don't factor in your credit score, they do look at your credit profile, and you do not want to have any recent late payments. Now, after a couple of years or so, they start, considering it, but you want to make sure these last couple years you are good, okay? Also, make sure you're paying your rent on time. Everything that you pay, you want to continue it up until the closing table. Now, this is not to say that until you close, once you close, you can go crazy. I just mean it to say that one thing I've learned about this process is that it's never guaranteed until you're closed. Nothing is guaranteed until you close. Okay, so make sure you are paying everything on time. Is in addition to everything else I mentioned here. And like I said, I'm sure there's so many other things I can mention. I'll probably end up doing a part 2 to this video, because as I'm learning new things, I'm a teacher, so I teach everything I learn. So I'm sure I'll come back with more as I'm learning it, okay? Also, you can always attend Achieve the Dream workshop in your area. You can look for one in your area. And with that, you can actually possibly, I don't want to say you can possibly get approved on the spot. So look into that as well. So hopefully this video is helpful. If you're watching and you're in the process or went through it, feel free to leave any other tips below to get qualified sooner. And let me know below where you are in your process. If you're interested in hearing more, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be notified when I upload more videos. Thank you for visiting my channel. Be blessed.